the center of my studio is this computer, and it's running Pro Tools, which is a DAW, or a digital audio workstation. Now, all the audio that goes into and comes out of the computer goes through this box here. This is an audio interface. The one I have is the Apollo Twin from Universal Audio. But I start off with a good condenser microphone. This is the Røde NT1. It's not top of the line or anything, but it's very good and it gets good results. Some people will spend $3-4 grand on a condenser microphone like a Neumann or something, and I ain't got that kind of money. This one does the trick. And then if you're doing vocals, it's a good idea to have a pop filter to get rid of all those loud P's and B's that just ruin the sound. And if you really want to DIY a pop filter, you can get a wire hanger and stretch some nylons over it, but if you ever have guest performers come in to sing or rap, you don't want them singing into underwear, so spend the $30 on a pop filter. This is the keyboard that I use. It's an M-Audio Code 61 keyboard controller. And controller means it doesn't actually have any sounds built into this piece of equipment. What it does is it plugs into the computer, and I use it to play all the sample libraries and the virtual instruments that are in the computer. So for example, I can use these pads to trigger my drum sample modules. I can use it to play my piano sampler. I have Velvet, which is a great electric piano plugin. For drums, I use the BFD2 sample library from FXpansion. It's really involved and complicated, but once you climb that learning curve, you can do a lot of cool stuff because the samples are great and they have a lot of different articulations, like even like rolls, and in fact this roll here, that's the first sound you hear on the album. At the beginning of $9 Cupcake, that roll starts the fill that starts the song. So the first thing you hear on the album AB is that sample. $9 Cupcake. Got a groovy Hammond B3 virtual instrument plug-in. Then there's the XPand module that just has tons and tons of different sounds on it, from strings to pianos to synthesizers to mallets. One of my favorite sample libraries is the Session Horn sample library from Native Instruments because it has a lot of cool articulations in addition to just having really good, well-recorded samples. So you have a nice legato thing, or you could even do a crescendo thing. Sforzandos, you got Deutz, falls, and lots of cool stuff. There's even shakes and rips and all kinds of stuff if you dig into it. There's also a Session Strings sample library too that I added onto it. Kidding. The acoustic guitar that I use is a solid cedar top Seagull 6-string. I've had it over 20 years and the wood has aged and it just sounds really nice. You'll hear this guitar on For the Best, on Stoop Sale, and on the country track Secret Family. For electrics, I mostly use this Fender Jaguar. It has got 2 humbucking pickups on it and a nice little neck, and it's got a fat sound. And it's shiny. The electric guitar I've had the longest is this Dan Electro reissue that I got back in 2001 when I was about to perform on Premium Blend on Comedy Central. Hopefully we won't show the clip.
How you doing? How are you? I got a song about a love triangle.
Why do I feel like we just showed the clip? Anyway, I don't use it on a lot of tracks because it has a very specific sound. It sounds very surf or very 50s, but when you want that sound, it's perfect, you know? I also have a lap steel guitar, which I bought on a whim just to mess around with, but I really like playing it, and you'll hear it on the country ballad Secret Family. So for the purposes of this video, I'm playing these guitars through this little 10-watt amplifier. It's the Tech 21 Trademark 10, but I don't actually use this amplifier on the album. I live in an apartment building, and I'm sure my neighbors would go crazy if I just played rhythm guitar for hours and hours on end while I was recording. And also if I was trying to get a solo right, just playing lead guitar over and over and over again, take after take. So what I do is I record clean into the computer and then use software to simulate the amps and the pedals. Now the amp modeling software that I use is called Gearbox. It's by Line 6, which is the same company that makes the Pod, and they also do Amp Farm and Pod Farm. It has a ton of amps to choose from, a lot of different cabinets to choose from, a lot of different effects, and it's where I got all the guitar sounds for my album A.B. And finally, the pièce de résistance, my favorite instrument that I own, is this one. And I bought it on eBay back in around 2003, and my girlfriend at the time was very upset with me for buying it because I didn't really have the money, but it's a $1,400 instrument that I got new from a music store for $710 because they listed it on eBay. And let's just say we've been together longer than that girlfriend and I were, so I think I chose wisely. Are you ready? All right. Hold on to your butts. It sparkles. It sparkles. Look at that sparkle. It's amazing. This bass is on every track on the album except for one, which is Flashback Wife, which was just piano and vocal. And it has a good sound, and I started out as a bass player in my rock and roll days, so a good bass is very important to me, and getting a good bass line is very important to me. And this thing sounds amazing. So all of those things, plus a tenor saxophone played by Ben Pernick, a guest verse by Joshua Fan Gruber, a little tambourine in my voice, all go into my latest album, A.B., which is available at iTunes, it's on Spotify, and now that you've seen what goes into it, give it a listen. I think you'll like it. Thanks for watching.
I'm a baby in a bar. Everything is so big. Daddy's drinking a beer. He won't give me a swig. This is a great place for me, with all this vodka and glass.